Two Babies in a Business, a podcast about business, marketing, growth, strategy, staff, clients, babies, marriage. I'm Christina. This is Peter. We are founders and leaders at CIPR Communications. Peter, how are you?
I'm very, very good. Very, very good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm excited because this is the last podcast in our first series. So, if you've made it this far, congratulations.
Yeah, the fun's really just about to start. I mean, I think this was more introductory and more about us and learning, and then we're really going to get into the meat and potatoes of things here after this one.
It's
Not
true.
to say there wasn't any kind of substance in the first few, but you know what I'm saying.
I do. So for everyone's benefit, what Peter and I are going to aim to do is spend kind of a month at a time talking about a different subject. So obviously this month we've looked back on building our business, and that's been super exciting. And a month is kind of a relative term, but 4 weeks to kind of talk and explore that. And I think in the coming months, we're going to be talking about building marketing plans and budgets and kind of doing deep dives into some of those marketing strategies. You'll hear about examples from our clients, but also from us building our own business. And yeah, hopefully, as we've talked about in the last 11 episodes, adding some value, because that's what we like to do. So I'm hoping our current clients get a taste of things we provide and how we're working their files. And I hope for, general public, you marketing managers out there, you business leaders out there that are listening, you're going to be getting a taste of questions that you should be asking of your consultants, questions that you should be asking of your marketing teams, how you can kind of stay in the next level and keep edging forward. But yeah, I'm excited that we had the chance to introduce ourselves and kind of give everyone a taste of who we are. And it was actually nice to reflect on our last few years as a business owner pair and a married pair.
Totally. Yeah, no, I agreed. I think we needed to take the time to do a proper introduction and sort of let people get to know us. But yeah, it's time to move forward and dig deep into fun marketing and communications topics. That's good.
So out of this last few episodes that we did, what are some of the things, like what are your takeaways, things we talked about that you hadn't really been thinking about, or maybe some eureka moments?
My takeaways have been a little bit about, the topic of today is called full circle, and really it's about reflecting on how full circle we've come. It's funny, like there's funny things, like when we started, every client always started off with a strategy. It was always the first thing is a written strategy and a tactical plan. And the tactical plans we create are, I would say, fairly unique to our agency. And so we'll get into that in future episodes. But then we sort of brought on this WSI relationship and got a little bit away from that in the digital marketing space. We still do that in the PR space. But we're really, internally as an agency right now, we're really focusing on, kind of building a framework that is going to become the CIPR framework and the way we move forward with every client, no matter what tactics and no matter what services they're going to be getting from us, the sort of strategic framework that we're going to be basically saying, like, if this is the starting point. And if you build a website with us, there's going to be a strategic component. And so to me, that's, it's sort of reflecting back on the conversation is really like, that's kind of how we started things. And then we kind of got away from that a little bit. Like we always had strategy in what we did, but we never demanded strategy up front. And we're sort of at a place, I think, going full circle and going forward, where it's all going to be, strategy first and developing a detailed plan, getting alignment, all of those kinds of things first before you really move forward. And I'm personally super excited about that because, I'll just be honest, like sometimes marketers guess with the money of their clients, and that's terrible. I don't ever want to guess with my clients' money again. And we just got into this place where we just started taking orders and, doing what people asked us, despite the fact that it might not be in their best interest, right? And And again, we sort of do our best to advise and all that kind of stuff. But if you really sit down and write a big detailed strategy with somebody and really dig deep and ask a lot of questions and really get to know a business and really get to know what drives a business and what the leaders care about and what they think is important, that's really when you can really start to drive really meaningful long-term results for people, right? So yeah, so I mean that's where we're going, and kind of again, it's this full circle idea. That's kind of how we started, and I'm excited to be really going all in on that idea.
Yeah, what's been interesting to me is as we've been recording this first series, we've obviously been doing a lot of work internally. We have kind of, I don't want to say just finished a fiscal year, but finished a fiscal year in the fall. Are doing some pretty extensive planning, obviously, for 2021, as many businesses are. So it's been interesting to kind of sit and reflect on what we've been talking about, and then going into leadership meetings, owners meetings, conversations with our coach about our own business growth and what's on the docket. And I think you're right. Like, I think full circle. I think about myself kind of sitting in a chair, a bit of an order taker. When I first started CIPR on my own, was subcontracting a lot, and just again outputting and doing what needed to be done. And as I reflect on, we've had a lot of clients over the years, and done a lot of cool projects. But when I think about the ones that have stood out, or the ones that are still with us today, that continue to just blow it out of the water, it's because we built this really strong foundation in terms of strategy. And I think, 5-10 years ago, that strategy and planning process was a bit different. In some ways, it's still very similar to what we build now. And our WSI network has helped us build out things that are even, I think, more crazy in a good way.
More robust, more sort of deep research oriented and data oriented, which is great.
Totally. And being able to apply that is so good. And I think about Ryan from WSI, one of the ICs down in California, who I think is given us as business owners a tremendous amount of time when we first became involved in WSI. And something he always preaches, I guess, is around, what clients do you fire? And to me, that was always this really scary notion. We have fired some clients before, and I'm really proud of us because it was based on exactly what you said. When you've created a strategy for them, and I think especially our team, because we don't cookie cutter any strategy, right? Like, we really kind of deep dive into, we workshop it with a client, we build something out that's based on research that has been done just for them, based on their own business goals. And when you sit there and you say, hey, remember this thing, and you're going in 5 different directions, and you're becoming an order taker, and you're inputting, outputting, you don't believe in it anymore, because you know where it should be. And I think for me, more, it's like, I know where they could be, and that's hard. And so, I think from that place, it's been a really interesting full circle in terms of coming to a place of confidence where we know what we're giving you is good, and could make a difference in your business. And I'm excited that we've been able to develop some really strong relationships with our clients. And I think, I think about the kind of 30-40 clients we have right now, where the strong relationships we've built around strategy all being aligned and moving forward, as opposed to some of the one-off things that, may only get you little incremental things.
And honestly, most of the time don't get you anything. Like, it's, I'm just going to throw it out there, but like, you need to have a fulsome marketing and communication strategy. like one-off tactics, you might get lucky once in a while, and hey, great. But like reality is, it's like it's a process, and it takes time, and it's multi-channel and multi-dimensional, and it sort of, you need to do many things well for it all to come together, and that's just the reality. And so,
Yeah.
I think coming full circle for us as an agency is one, you talk about sort of firing clients, and it has only been a few, very, very sort of select cases where that's happened, or where they fired us, it just wasn't a fit. But, really it's like this approach that we're going to be taking going forward here is actually like probably going to mean a lot, like in terms of like qualifying leads a lot less. Like I almost see my goal in sales to be disqualifying leads as much as possible, so that only sort of the exact right kinds of companies that fit our sort of goals and our demographic and what we're trying to achieve, and the kind of growth we're trying to get for clients will be a fit. You know what I mean? My job in sales is to find the companies that will align with that. Yeah. So that when we go forward, it's like, let's go and let's make this happen. And right. And yeah, it's very, it's a very interesting part of business. It's like really kind of honing in on who your target audience is and how to meet their needs, and sort of how to filter out everything else. Because, inbound marketing, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and obviously inbound is a big strategy we're going to be having going forward. Is it actually becomes that much more important to really hone in on your target audience, because you're going to be generating a lot of traffic to your website. You're going to be generating a lot of inquiries, but not all of those inquiries are necessarily the right types of inquiries for your business. And that's okay, because that's part of it. But it's about sort of really being clear about who it is your customer is, and then basically sort of working with those people only, so that me as a sales guy isn't overwhelmed trying to help people who are just not going to be a fit anyways. Right. And it's about being honest and transparent about that.
Yeah. I feel like Ryan would be proud disqualifying leads.
Yes.
But I feel like you're already teasing future episodes. So
I am.
Thank you for spending the last 4 weeks chatting with me about us. I think it's been great. And I look forward to sharing all of these juicy marketing tidbits and remaining really real and honest with everyone listening.
Completely. I agree. I hope that everybody listening stays with us, and fun is about to start here.
Thanks.